Everybody know my knee hurt, so I can't run.
So we talked to you in December, but now that we're the week of, you getting excited about this?
Well, I've been excited, about it, especially when I first got the news. So now it's just getting everything together, trying to get, for my people who's coming to the event, ceremony. So it's just been a lot of last seconds. This person coming, this person, and here we go, we got to do this. So sometimes that wears you out.
What was it about that team, and you in particular, that embodied the heart and hustle thing, especially after Shaq left?
Well, Shaq was gone about a year or two after that. He was already gone, but it was more when Penny left. People kind of felt like we wasn't going to have a chance to win, and so for me, I had to take on a leadership role. So, showing guys how to play right away. I think for me it was perfect because I'm the point guard. Usually everything starts with the point guard on the floor, so I had to lead by example. Guarding, playing defense, making plays for others, also scoring the basketball. So for me, it was kind of easy. It was just about getting everybody on that same page, and that's when we got Ben Wallace that year in the trade in the summertime. We got Pat Garrity from the trade from the Penny Hardaway. And I don't know. I felt like a lot of people probably thought, these guys were just thrown in, like Pat Garrity just thrown into the trade to make the trade go well for Phoenix, but he came out to be one tough cookie when it came to shooting that basketball for us. And he shot the ball well, and Ben Wallace became Ben Wallace. The next year he leaves and goes sign a $30 million contract, and we already had Bo Outlaw there, so I knew what type of players we had. I knew we was going to have to be grinding every night, defensive, team, and from there we'll figure it out, and that's what we did.
Have you visualized what it's going to be like to see your name amongst the greats in Magic history?
Nah. Just thinking about, I'll be the fifth player. Nick Anderson, who was their first draft pick ever, Shaquille O'Neal, Penny Hardaway, and T Mac, and what an honor for me to be talking in the same breath with those guys. It's special. My college coach Jeff Capel always told me if you play hard, good things will happen. And that was something I always try to do, just play hard. And a lot of magic happens down there.
That would be a hell of a starting five right now. Those five you just mentioned.
Yeah, I ain't got to do nothing but pressure people up and down the floor and be ready to knock down wide open shots. But that would be unbelievable starting five. You got guys that can do so many things. So, yeah, we could win a championship with that team.
So, lastly, how many friends and relatives you got?
Probably about, it'd be about 30, 40. A lot of friends is trying to come. I'm gonna have to cut off somebody, but and it's Friday night, so it's a weekend game. The tickets is almost always sold out. Even when we play here, our tickets it's always been big on the weekend because of kids get a chance to come to the game, but they don't have to go to school the next day. So being in Orlando, I'm for sure it's like that, just like it's here. So
plus it's Darrell Armstrong night, so
and it's,
that's a hard ticket to come by anyway.
Yeah, it's a hard and hustle night. I'm looking forward to just mingling and just seeing how everything's gonna be. But it's an honor. For me, where I came from, 13-man on 13-man team, my first year ever playing and the only year playing in high school, and now I'm here, basically getting my jersey retired or, getting into the Hall of Fame, because they don't retire the jersey, but getting into the Hall of Fame with four outstanding guys who all been all-stars. So can't ask me no more than that.
You've become just as much a part of this organization now. You've been well respected, obviously, the 2 years you were here as a player, and then now. How do you teach millennials to play hard and take charges and do things that maybe aren't sexy and don't get on the highlight reels.
Well, sometimes you have to show by example, especially with film. You can let guys see with film, but you try to do it where you show them by they play on the floor. You can get video, or you can just demonstrate what you're looking for them to do. And a lot of times I always tell the guards, and mostly I always have a thing that says pickup point. We want to meet these guys at half court. We don't want them to come down and just get in their offense. And you just try to go from there. But usually when you're playing defense and you're playing defense well, it's so easy to play offense. It's you're so aggressive when you go back down on the other end because you're getting stops on this end. But that's all you try to do. I don't know about a lot of guys in this league don't want to take them charges, but thank God I learned how to take a charge, because everybody don't know how to take a charge. So
it's an art,
and it is. And I learned from my high school coach, and it was so crazy. He used to put big mans up against the guards, and he used to show us how to take a charge. And he'll say when the guy touch you, fall back and yell. And that's what he did with us. He did it with the guards. Got to go against the bigs, and it really taught me how to take a charge. In my lifetime, I probably took 2 hard charges, and one of them was Sean Kemp. And so I mean, and all the charges I took, it was like you were saying, it was the art. It was just knowing how to do it, and that's what I say. You learn early, and you apply it as you go.
One quick thing, housekeeping item here. Get out of Fayetteville. First of all, did you kick for 1 year or 2? Just 1 year, 2 years on the football team?
Yeah, 2.
And you made a couple of game winners, or a game winner?
Well, the first year I was kicking with somebody. I walked on and made it, and then it was my 5th year. I had to sit out 1 year because of my grades. My 5th year, my last year, and Coach Caper told me the field goal kicker quits, and they needed somebody to kick. And I told him I asked you if you want to kick for him. And he was like, "Yo, you go kick for him, and you can help us out with getting some gear and stuff like that." And I was like, "Coach," I said, "I don't know, man." I said, "It's hot." And I ain't kicked in a while. I still had my kicking shoe. I had my football helmet, and I ended up going to do it. And make a long story short, I kicked. My first one was a 47-yard. I tied the record. And I did it against Terry Boughton, who was at Sanford College at the time. And the next year he went to Auburn and went 11-0 with Auburn as the head coach, but couldn't go to the tournament. Couldn't go to the playoffs because they was on probation. And that was my first time I did it. I did it down in Sanford, and then my last game of the season. It was kind of crazy because the field goal kicker coach the day before, the special team coach, had said, "You kicking so well, man." He said, "If you really want to kick and play in the NFL, you can." He said, I know you're into basketball now." So the next day I go kick 2 field goals, a 47 again, and a 37. Ended up scoring. I was the only one to score in the second half, the whole game. Crazy. And then had to go play an inter-squad scrimmage basketball game after that.
You got out of Fayetteville. I know you bounced around. Can you remember some of the places you went to? Between there and when you signed Magic.
First year was Wally Bullfrogs. I played under Monty Towel. Monty Towel there, but I got released from there. Went back. Tried to go back to school. Couldn't concentrate. Left school. Went and played in the USBL. And had to make that team and walked on. And that was the biggest league for me because that's how I got into NBA summer camp. And played 3 seasons. And every year I got invited to an NBA camp. The first year was I got invited to Atlanta Hawks camp. And then the next year I got invited to Orlando camp and then Orlando camp as well. And so, that USBL was big for me. And then I also, in between that, I went overseas to play in Cyprus, Greece. And come back, play in the USBL again, go right back and play in Spain.
I remember that.
And from Spain, Orlando was kind of offering me a deal, but it was a partial deal. It wasn't guaranteed. And I just decided to go back to Spain. and but ended up getting picked up by Orlando the last 13 games of the season.
They saw enough that they said, we're going to hold on to this guy.
Yeah, John Gable he was the one who saw me in the USBL. And saw me at Daytona Beach, Florida, at Bethune-Cookman College. And he was coming down to see two guys that had just went to the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament. And one of them had to play against me, and I had 45 points the Friday night. I had like 3 dunks. And then I had 30 points the second night. We played back-to-back nights. And next thing you know, my Coach Al Outlaw was showing me a card. I said, look what I got. I said, who is he? He said, Orlando Magic. So that's how I got in that camp school.
Hey there, NBA fans. For exclusive NBA content, subscribe to Fanatics View YouTube down below.